You can't be an emotional man because, you know, for the rest of us normal folk, we'd be in tears.
Yeah, you have to stay fairly calm, and I think, you know, background in the military gave me loads of experience about that.
Was there a moment where you looked out, or at any stage, when you thought, I can't believe I'm doing this?
I think the one moment that really stands out to me is the spacewalk, and in particular, you know, coming through the airlock, and just that first time I dropped down, and we were actually just going from day to night. On the one side, you're completely focused from a professional point of view. You can't make any mistakes. You've got to be prepared for anything. But on the other side, it's the boy in you is kind of screaming out, you know, I'm about to do a spacewalk, or I'm about to launch into space. So you have to kind of deal with both these emotions.
Well, what about that launch? But what was did you have a job during the launch process?
And if everything goes according to plan, then you know the boosters will fire and you'll launch into space. If things don't go to plan, then you have some things that you need to do. But if it's going to plan, you're just monitoring the system.
What does it feel like?
It's incredible. The acceleration, it just builds up and up and up. And then the first stage jettisons, and then you go through the second stage, the third stage. But the third stage, you're accelerating up to 25 times the speed of sound, which is 10 times the speed of a bullet. And you can't believe that, you know, it just keeps on going and accelerating at such a rate.
There's a question came in from Marie Lynette Houston, says, my 10-year-old daughter loves space, and you've been an inspiration to so many children up and down this country. It's all thanks to you, she says. It's a dream to be an astronaut, and she would love to know what she can do now to prepare for a space career. And that's the sort of one of the questions we were going to ask you. How do you become an astronaut?
Well, there are things you can do to help yourself, and having a background in science, in maths, is very important. We have to speak Russian, of course, so learning a second language it will help as well. But I tell you know, school children the best thing to do is to focus on what you want to do before you become an astronaut, because that's the most important thing. Follow your dreams, what you're passionate about. That's what you're going to be good at, and that means that you'll stand out when it comes to becoming an astronaut later in life.
And an extraordinary training that goes into doing what you do, but what they can't train you for or pay for, maybe they do, is missing family and missing Christmas and missing birthdays and not being able to pick up the phone and call the ones you loved. How did you deal with that?
That is the hardest part of space, is being away from friends and family, and also knowing that you're isolated and you're not there to help and support them if something were to happen when you're in space. Again, my background in the military gave me some experience in dealing with that, being away from family for long periods of time, but it was definitely the hardest part of the mission. Going into space actually was much easier than coming back down to Earth. It only took me about a day to adjust to living and working in space. I was surprised. It took about 3 days before I actually even felt well when I landed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you really feel quite unwell for a long period of time. Your whole vestibular system is messed up. You don't have your balance right, so you can't walk straight.
God.
And
You
everything
described it
feels
as a hangover from hell.
That's right, yeah, and it really does feel like that. You just you feel dreadful, and then slowly over the period of about a week, you get better and better, and then you can start to walk again and get your balance back.
What stage are you at now with that recovery?
I feel absolutely fine, 100%. And in fact, after just 1 month back on the ground, most of my results had returned to pre-launch levels.
Oh, really?
The one thing that will take a bit longer to come back is my bone density, maybe up to a year, maybe 2 years in some respects, but it should all come back to normal.
Vicky Patterson has got in touch.
Not the Vicky.
You're not from Australia. She says, what's the first thing you did after your return to Earth?
Well, the first thing I did, I got to meet my family again, which was wonderful, and then I took a hot shower.
Yeah, I bet.
There are no hot showers up there?
No hot showers in space, so I've just been camping, really, so it's been flannels and hot water for 6 months, so it was just wonderful to have a hot shower.
Doesn't it make you view humanity and our place in the universe in a different way?
It certainly gives you a different perspective, yes. I mean, you can't go live in space for 6 months and for it not to have some impact on you. And you see the Earth in a completely different way. By daytime, you hardly see any signs of human habitation, just this vast geological planet and all the beauty of how our planet has formed over the billions of years. And then by night, it's completely different. You see all the signs of human habitation, the lights, the cities, the networks.
That must have been part of an aspect for you, looking down and thinking, this is so pristine, it's so beautiful, it's so unique, and we're wrecking it.
Yes, and one of the things that really struck me was just how thin the atmosphere is. You realise that the only reason we have life on planet Earth is because of this tiny, tiny strip of our atmosphere. And when you see how thin it is, you realise that there's not much of it, and we do need to look after it.
And the next 48 hours are important to you because there are discussions currently happening about whether or not you'll be going back.
That's right. We have a ministerial at the European Space Agency for the next 2 days, and so all the ministers across Europe will be deciding to fund the various projects, of one of which is, of course, the International Space Station programme as well.
Wow.
So you could be going back.
I certainly hope so, yes. I start training again next year. I'll be moving back to Cologne, the home of the European Astronaut Centre, next summer, and then I'll be eligible for assignment for another mission.
Wow. What do your family think about that?
They've always supported me through everything. I mean, it's nice to get some balance now, and I need to have some family time now, but no, they're so supportive, they really are.
What a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so
really
much.
Is. Thank you.
Hello, is this Planet Earth? That's actually the title. We've got to explain that title very briefly, and that's when you phoned up Betty Barker. I think you were phoning up your family, and you misdialed from space.
That's right. I thought I was phoning my sister, and poor Betty answered the phone, and I just said, "Hello, is this Planet Earth?" And she was very surprised. So
I've got another nutter on the phone.
Yeah.
This is all the proceeds go to the Prince's Trust, and that's another great cause. So thank you very much indeed.
If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning.